Welcome to Soul Machine. I'm Freddie Spencer, and I'm so excited today with our guest that we'll introduce in a minute because you meet the best people on a Honda, right?
Yes.
So, Camille, take it away.
I couldn't be more excited to introduce our guest, BT, who is an actor, stand up comedian, whose dry bar comedy special has over 2.5 million views. He stars in the critically acclaimed short film Fragile Strength. Please welcome BT.
Thank you for having me. Both of you guys, thank you for having me. It's a dream come true. I mean, and to be as a childhood hero, and to know that I'm sitting next to you on this podcast, I'm freaking out, but I'm acting all cool. Like, thank you, Freddie. I appreciate that.
Well, one good thing is you're from Oklahoma.
Born and raised Muskogee, Oklahoma. I'm literally an Okie from Muskogee. Literally, I got Walmart
That
going off in
that
my
was one of
veins.
my favorite movie quotes from an officer and gentleman.
Yes, I
Remember
remember.
David
Yes,
Keith?
yes, I do.
He was from
Yes,
Oklahoma.
yes,
And
yes.
Richard Gere was like his best friend, and he would give him a hard time being the Okie from Muskogee.
No, the best time was I don't want to be no Okie from Muskogee. And I remember watching the movie going, "Hey,
Yeah,
hey, I live here."
I live here.
Yeah, well, you've got the alternative too. Merle's saying you should be proud of it, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
From
depending on
Muskogee.
who you ask, you can be proud to be an Okie, or it can be.
I'm proud to be an Okie.
Tell listeners, BT, can you tell listeners your Honda origin story and how those early ads shaped you and what you meet the best people in a Honda means?
I mean, it's everything. It does. You meet the best people in the Honda. Because I grew up, when you're growing up, and for my birthday, my dad got me a Honda Z50. And I still remember him just going in that garage. I can still smell that and going, and it was just that beautiful red, and it said Z50 on it. And I just remember getting on it. It was after school, man, starting it up. Had no clutch because it was great. It's just you just switch gears and take it out to the church fields, the church parking lot, and it was literally across the street from me. And it was half gravel, half grass. It had railroad ties, and I would just go round and round. And I remember when I would come around the railroad ties, I felt like I was flat tracking. I remember Jay Springsteen, so I
Oh,
literally
Jay
have one
Springsteen.
hand like this riding like this, trying to be like him. And I remember having that big bubble helmet, but just that feel, I could still smell that bike. And all the kids gathered around my dad and watched me just keep going around. And my dad was so nice. He let other kids ride my bike, which I wasn't too happy about. But anyway, he let other kids ride my bike, take it for a spin. I was like, okay, it's my bike. And then and then the guy got on it. And I always remember that, man. And to me, it's weird because when you're a kid, you don't know about brand loyalty. But I remember going, Honda is that I felt like that was me. My buddy, my best friend in fourth or fifth grade rode a Suzuki, and we would almost not fights, but we would have arguments about who the best bike was. I go, no, it's Honda all the way. If I could have got a tattoo in fourth grade that said Honda Z50, I would have. I didn't know anything about tattoos back then. I would have got a Honda Z50 tattoo. That's how much I love Honda back then.
That's where my first Honda was a Mini Trail 50.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I
See?
knew it. We're like this synonymous, me and
Yeah.
him.
It's why we're so close. Uh, BT, I wanted to say this, came here to the Woodlands with Conroe to be on this show with Camille and I today, and that means the world to me. And we know each other from going to Coda,
Or being MotoGP, me being a geek.
MotoGP, yeah, and Alpine Stars. And the cool thing is that I'm going to Le Mans next week
Yes.
to ride my NSR 500, and BT's going to be there.
I'm gonna be.
He's going to be there.
Oh
I'm
my God,
jealous.
I'm gonna be there. I
Yeah,
can't wait. I
yeah.
really can't. I mean, it's just like I'm living the dream. I mean, I do what I want for a living. I do my job. An actor, comedian. That's what I always want to do. And then I'm around motorcycles, my second passion. It's like, how great can my life get? I'm next to Freddie Spencer on his couch in his house. You can't beat this. How great is my life? How great is my life?
Oh, you know what? You That's why we got to do things, right? We got to do it right together. I wanted to get into to a little bit, and Camilla and I talked about this, was how motorcycling shaped your life as a young kid and the influence it had on making you the person that you are, which is incredible. Okay, you're an incredible
Well,
person,
thank you so much for that.
and you entertain people, and how motorcycling, if it did or didn't have some influence on that.
I mean, to me, it's I went to a little break from motorcycles from I think teenage years till college and everything, but to me, it's everything. It is freedom. It sounds so cliche, but it's freedom. It's independence. It's like when I live in Indianapolis and I go to Louisville, Kentucky for acting classes. That's how great Indianapolis is, right? But that 2 hours on the road inside my helmet, I can go over my lines. I can think of maybe new jokes while I'm riding. I mean, it's everything. I mean, I had cross country rides where you're in your helmet and you're talking to yourself, and it's like you got you to talk to, and it sounds like nothing, but it's everything.
It's everything.
If I have a script or whatever, that I'm going to do a monologue. I can go, oh, I can approach it this way. As I'm riding, I go, I can approach it this way. I can do this way. As I'm riding, I mean, you're focused on the ride, but at the
Right.
same time, you're in your head, and it's a great space to be because you're at peace.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it's so much better than a car. 'Cause to me, you're at peace because you're riding, you do what you want to do, and you're in nature also, and it's the greatest headspace to be in.
Well, my comment on that is that we were talking about this before we started the show about meditation, right?
Yes.
You do yoga and stuff.
Yes.
And so when people would ask me, like, if you ever meditated, and I said, of course I have. I've ride a motorcycle for 60 years, right?
Yes.
And so when I was a kid growing up, riding in my yard, I learned to focus so much, and I've said this before about where I could see the leaves, and if they were dark or darker or light colored. If they were dark colored, it was wet under there. If it was light colored, it was dry, and that would determine then my line through that section of the track, and that I learned to focus that intense, but at the same time, it's like what you said. You're riding along, and it gives you the freedom that you go to places and you're thinking, about your scripts, about what you want to talk about, and it just makes it clear for you,
Yes. Yes.
right?
It's bingo. You nailed it. I mean, it's the greatest focus ever.
Yeah.
And plus, if you know me, how much of a dork I am, if I'm in my helmet, I'm thinking I'm like Marquez, if I'm Marquez, or my dream race is the Dakar. And that's why I have a multi-strata, because it's like I always want to be in a Dakar. So when I get a chance to stand up going over railroad tracks, whatever, I stand and I feel like I'm in the Dakar. Like every now and then I'll have to go through the grass at my apartment complex
Right.
because to get to the gates they won't open. So when I'm going across the grass for that 3 seconds, I feel like I'm in the Dakar. So that focus and that fantasy, the fantasy of the focus,
Of course.
it's everything to me. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
What I've heard is that both of you guys grew up doing something very similar on similar bikes and Freddie talks about the knowing the color of the leaves, and then I hear you talk about smelling the gasoline and sort of impersonating someone that you're wanting to do, but then I hear that you're doing the same thing now, and so it's kind of a cool way for me to understand you're
Yeah.
living a not a childhood dream, but you're still connected to that young boy who was ripping laps in the backyard. It sounds like you're doing
Absolutely.
that now when you stand up going over the railroad tracks and are
You never lose that. I mean,
right.
when you become an adult, things you don't lose are the love of macaroni and cheese.
True.
And I think of just putting yourself in that fantasy world. I always think, even to this day, I always think I'm Jason Bourne because I travel by myself and I go, well, let me act like I'm a spy. So if I'm in my motorcycle helmet, it's the same way. I mean, I'm at a stoplight and I'm like looking at the green light and I'm thinking, oh, I'm at the start of a MotoGP race. I make sure there's no cops around.
Yeah.
And then
That's good.
So when the light turns green, that's my start of MotoGP. I mean, it's the fantasy, but you never lose that when you're a kid.
Well,
You're in that fantasy world.
absolutely. I say this all the time. I was just in Japan,
Yeah.
last weekend, and it was for a fan ride at a circuit near Chiba, Japan, and 800 CB fans showed up. And the thing is that they asked me, like, don't you get tired of? I go, are you kidding me? Huh? I mean, that's the fans, the energy that we share, and they know how much I care about them. and they care about me, and we're kids. It's like wonderment, right? That amazing feeling, which in fact, one of the podcasts that we're doing after you tomorrow that we're recording, we talk about the mindset and what chemicals are released when you ride or you do sports, you do something that you really love and passionate about, which, by the way, as you can tell, we're both passionate about it, right?
Of course.
And so you don't lose that. And that's what gives you that motivation, that spirit, that determination and enjoyment. And I'm just so appreciative of that. And I've been so thankful that I could experience that in my racing. But when I ride today, I'm not racing. I was on the track Sunday, and they asked me, they go, like, would you be willing to do more than just demonstration laps? And I go, sure. And they go, well, we got a 4 hour, like a fun endurance race. And I go, how many segments you want me to ride? Huh? No problem. And so, I got my gear. I got my blue and silver helmet, which matches the silver and blue CB 1100 1000F I'm riding. And so, they're showing me the pit board. Like, you got to come in. I go, no, I want 2 more laps.
That's the passion we talk about when you ride.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, and I wish it would bring it back that you meet the best people on Honda, because it's so true. If you're around a bunch of people in their passion, especially motorcycles, and how the rest of the world who doesn't ride, unfortunately for them, who don't ride, they don't get it, because it's the most positive environment there is. Everybody's rooting for everybody.
Yes.
If something happens to you, they will stop on the side of the road and help another motorcyclist. And it's the greatest environment around, because it's nothing but positivity. And you can just feel the energy, and it's a positive energy. And it's just, only we can understand that, because like I said, the rest of the world, if you're driving a car or whatever, and you've never ridden a motorcycle, man, I feel sorry for you, because you don't understand this passion. You don't understand this. It should be, you meet the best people on a motorcycle, because it's the truth.
If you remember, I do. I remember this, and because you probably were in elementary school, huh?
I don't know. Wait a
All
minute.
right.
What was this?
Yeah. Well, you said you were older than Morgan Freeman.
That's a joke. Come on now. Come on. My skincare routine makes me look
Well, you look
younger.
like
You got to tell me what you're using.
I know. Okay. So, but when I was a kid,
Yeah.
it was like if you wanted a hamburger, you just said McDonald's.
Yes.
If you wanted a motorcycle, it's like you want a Honda.
Yes.
It was like they were synonymous together.
Like Kleenex or Vaseline. It's actually petroleum jelly, but we call it Vaseline, but it's actually petroleum jelly. And that's what Honda's synonymous with motorcycle. It really, it's the brand, and they need to bring it back to bring everybody into motorcycling.
I told you this, and it was one of the coolest things I got to see at one of the Honda conventions. They showed the first commercial of You Meet the Best People on Honda, and I told you the actor, right?
Oh, who was? Oh, I forget, but tell me now. With Keanu Reeves?
No, it wasn't Keanu.
Can I give you a hint? Up your nose with a rubber hose.
John Travolta.
Yes.
But wasn't it Horseshack that said that though?
Yes.
Yes.
Cocktail.
Yeah.
Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Oh, speaking of that,
yes.
should we tell the people about who beat Camille's dad?
Gabe Kaplan. I just told.
I didn't realize that was going to come back, that John Travolta was also in Welcome Back, Kotter.
Of
and that's
course.
full circle
We
movement.
connect everything. That's what allows our minds to have been developed to the point of critical thinking.
Yes.
And it's motorcycling.
Motorcycling. Always.
Right?
Always.
It's motorcycling that gave us that super ability. And so I just wanted to throw that in.
So Welcome Back. You meet the best people from Welcome Back, Carter, basically.
Yeah.
There you go.
John Travolta did the commercial on a Honda. So basically, it all goes back to Welcome Back, Carter. And Gabe Kaplan beat your dad in a race. So it all goes back to Welcome Back, Carter and Honda.
Yeah.
There you go.
The 70s were the greatest
But
decade.
what I'm wondering, though, is like, you say it's something that we never lose, this like thing like mac and cheese and being young, but I feel like that's something that a lot of people lose. I think that you guys are in touch with that younger side of yourself and you give yourself the freedom to pretend to be Jason Bourne at a stoplight, where a lot of people would not do that. They'd feel like that was childish or stupid or weird, you know? And so I feel like that's a limitation that people have just in their own thinking and framework
Absolutely.
that keeps them from that sense of wonderment
Yes.
because of this fear of allowing themselves to think like a kid.
You know why? Because they don't ride a motorcycle. Everybody in the
That's
car is
it.
miserable. They're all
Yeah.
miserable. They got a kid in the back crying. They're going, man, I hate my life. And they look over and see somebody on a motorcycle. They're just happy. They're just stoplight, just happy. They're just dancing for no reason. They don't even have headphones in. They're just, you know why? Because they're on a motorcycle. They're on two wheels.
Yeah.
That's why. So if you're in a car, they're unhappy people. Only people on motorcycles are happy, and that's
So
why we connect with inner childhood.
what is it? Is it like the feeling of the wind? Is it that you're paying attention? Like what is it that separates a motorcycle operator
Okay.
from a car driver?
I'll answer this one. Okay. So riding in my yard when I was a kid, I can still close my eyes in my t-shirt because back then we didn't have leathers, right? I was in a t-shirt, jeans, and hunting boots, right? With this helmet that was too big for me,
That's so country.
right?
Yes.
And it would turn sideways. I can only see out of one eye. But I could feel everything. And I could feel the temperature change from my front yard to the backyard because there were more trees in the backyard. And so I can close my eyes still today and I can feel that temperature change. And and people always go, "You have this incredible memory. How is that possible?" I said, "Because I pay attention." Right?
Yes.
I was aware and paid attention, that's for me, my tool, kind of like yours, BT, and Camille's, and Gabe. Gabe is our editor here and stuff. And
Love Gabe.
he's given us stuff. Yeah, he's given Triple G.
Triple G, go get him, Gabe.
Yeah,
That's for her, a whole nother story.
yeah, it's a whole nother story. So, but it taught me to really pay attention. Well, I had to. If not, I'd hit the leaves and they were wet, and I'd hit a tree, and that hurt, right?
Yeah, trees don't move.
Yeah, trees don't move.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that's another I think suggestion I want to make too, that nuance and temperature is also information, right? So it's like you feel a breeze and you're like, whatever, it's a breeze. But for you, in your objective, that's crashing or not,
oh
like
yeah, absolutely.
the environment carries with it information that you don't have otherwise.
But it also helps. At least for me, it helped my creative mind. 'Cause I remember I would get in the habit of just going around that church parking lot like this. And my buddy, who to this day I think is the most incredible thing in the world, he would come. He was in fourth or fifth grade at the time, which means he was 8 or 9. He would come across town, go across two major highways on a Suzuki 80 to come ride with me, and no one thought anything of it. He's an 8-year-old kid going across a major highway, and no one thought anything of it. But instead of going around the circle, he would do that, but then he would start doing donuts, and then he would start do jumps, and it got me out of like, oh, okay, I can, get out of this habit of doing this,
Right.
and they got me to start riding creatively, and to me, that's what motorcycling did also, make it, oh, think different.
Right.
Okay, instead of doing a circle, oh, I can do donuts. He would be do donuts. He would jump, and I go, that's what I need. And I always remember that, man. Motorcycling has changed my life in ways I didn't even realize it until like sometimes now, or just in other ways. You go, yeah, it did. I mean,
Yeah.
it shaped who I am because you meet different people and you learn how to ride different. So it means that transfers over to your regular life. You know what I mean? Instead of approaching a problem this way, do it this way, or look at it this way.
Right.
It's just the greatest thing ever.
So, speaking of what you do to get prepared, one of the things that Camille and I both liked was tell us about, like, on a Friday morning or Saturday morning, and you turn on the MotoGP and it's Moto3 practice.
Let me tell you something. No one knows the level of dorkness that I have for MotoGP and motorcycle racing unless you know me. And I mean, when MotoGP comes on, I find out when Moto3 FP1 is on. So what I do is I set my alarm. I used to be able to stay up all night, but I'll set my alarm up, and when it comes on, I'm there before the broadcast even starts. I get what I either get a coffee, whatever, and the moment it comes on from Moto 3,
Which is, let me put this in context. This is the smallest displacement class in the MotoGP weekend, and they go out first, and they're all between like 18 and
and it used to be 16, 17.
yeah.
I mean, I knew those kids' birthdays.
Now they have to be 18.
I knew those kids' birthdays, where they were from. I mean, you think I'm joking? I'd be in when I go to the paddock, I go, "Oh my God, da, 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 from Spain, whatever," and they're like at me like, "Yeah." I just remember Fernando Lopez,
Yeah.
Alonso Lopez.
Alonso
I remember him.
Lopez.
We had the long hair, and he was in Moto 3. It was his first year. He was with his dad. He was skinny as a rail. I was like, "Hey man, good luck," and he's like, who's this guy? I mean, I'm that dork. I mean, for a 16-year-old kid to go, who is this guy? But I know that because I watched him at 4 o'clock in the morning where I'm at like this. And I call them the bumblebees because like, oh, and I just watch. I mean, I do that sets my weekend.
But
To
like,
watch the Moto 3 races and
I don't think
practice.
that I don't think that that's dorky at all. Like
Oh, it is.
when you say it is, I almost feel like it's dismissive though, you know. But I feel like for your level of interest for those young riders is huge. And whether, you know, you say what up to the kid, I think that for someone having such vested interest in a young person's career, I don't think is dorky at all. I think it's major, and I think it's really cool, and I feel like it partially. I wonder if you're linking a younger version of yourself, you know, with those moto riders and cheering them on in a similar fashion.
You know what? In a way, yes, because I remember watching. My dad took me to watch a motocross race when I was a kid, and I remember the gate dropping. And this one kid, he had something with his bike, and his dad came over, and I thought, I'm better than this kid now, and I don't even ride. And for some reason, I just knew my dad wasn't going to travel me around, racing bikes. And I think that part of me is still in there and that's the one thing, because I grew up in a generation where you didn't really talk back to your parents, or
Right.
whatever. And when my dad said he had this booming voice, and we were scared of him sometimes. But I just remember the only time that he didn't really come back at me was when I go, I always wanted to race motorcycles, but I knew you weren't going to let me. And that's the only time he would be like, you could tell it was a sense of like, and so when I got my motorcycle, he would ask like, so where'd you ride today? And it was great because he knew that that's a part of me that I always wanted to do, but I didn't because I knew he wasn't going to travel with me to do it. And I think even a part of him was like, I kind of should have let my son race motorcycles.
Well,
So,
looking back is always that way. One thing, why don't you tell the story about living on the road, right?
on
With your Sentra.
living on my car.
Yeah.
I mean, where sometimes you pull into a parking lot and you go to sleep, and the most miserable night ever was in Montana because I didn't want to pay for a hotel room, and I lived out of my car for 3 years, right? And that's how I traveled the world, meeting people, traveled the United States, meeting people.
Right.
I remember being in Montana, and I set the seat back. I go to sleep. I wake up. It was freezing, so I take my coat off, turn the heat up, go back. I wake up, and I was sweating, and this went on. And I mean, wake up, sweat, boom, turn it off, wake up, freezing, turn it off. This went on for 8 hours. And I remember going, I'm sick of this. So I went, took my toiletry bag inside the hotel to brush my teeth. And they looked at me like, whoa. I don't know how I looked, but they were like, whoa. I walked in to go brush my teeth at a hotel I wasn't staying at in Montana. They were going, I don't know who this guy is, but hey, man, dude,
He's not from around here.
Exactly. So yeah, just living in the car. You like I said, you meet different people. You go through different things, and the thing about that is you see people from different aspects of life, but we're all kind of the same.
Of course,
and
that's how you
and that was the
learn.
best.
Yeah.
I'm in the 49 states, driven to 48 of them, and that was one of the greatest 3-year period of my life.
Right.
It really was.
And the thing is that some people look at that and view it in a negative way. But the cool thing is that you understand the positive side of it.
Always, everybody's going to go through problems in life, but it's your attitude toward it and how you look at
Absolutely.
it. And to me, it was always like always try to find a positive. When I was on a highway in Tennessee, and it was locked down. My car was overheating. God didn't know. Said, "Listen, take my number down. Anything happens, you call us. We'll come get you." Then I mean, he didn't even know me, and then I knew it was genuine. So
Right.
I met people like that, and I still Like right now, you still meet people like that, man. I mean, I'm on the couch with Freddie Smith, with Fast Freddie Spencer, with Fast Fred. That's what we called you, Fast Freddie Spencer. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm living the dream,
Well,
baby.
it feels the same way. I mean, you being here is amazing, and you know we appreciate the effort and you know the stories and talking about motorcycling. And so I did a commercial, right,
Yes,
in 1984, and it actually was shown during the Olympics. I'm very proud of that.
yes.
And so we're gonna play that on the show, and so I'll let BT talk about it. And it was the V45,
Yeah,
right?
the V45 Magnum.
Ninehawk.
Introducing the Nighthawk S from Honda. We asked world champion Freddie Spencer to take it for a ride. Because what we find out on the track, you can't find out on the street. Freddie liked the way it handled, the way it accelerated, the way it stopped. In fact, Freddie liked the Nighthawk S so much, he never brought it back.
The Nighthawk.
Yeah,
I like that commercial. I also remember the V45 Magna.
right. You actually wrote it.
No,
Have you ever ridden a V45?
no, but I
Okay.
just remember that commercial.
You remember the Nighthawk commercial is the one that I'm talking about, but you never rode the V45?
Never got a chance to. No, no, no,
Okay.
no.
Well, because that was Honda's at the time. I mean, the V45 was they're moving away from the inline
Yeah.
CB
Yes.
family of bikes and making a sport bike, you know.
And I just remember that the V45 Magna. I was like, oh, what is this? I was a kid go, what is this? And I remember it showing, I was like, oh my, the way they did that, it was so dramatic. And I mean, it sent chills up my spine, like, oh my God. I mean, seriously, like, what is this? And even to this day, I remember the V45. Man, that changed lives.
It did.
That
It
bike
did.
changed
Well,
lives.
and it also was an amazing step for Honda, you know, at the time. But the Nikon commercial, um, I remember sitting on the sofa with my mom. We're watching the Olympics from Los Angeles, '84.
Yes.
And who was the gymnast?
Mary Lou Retton.
Mary Lou Retton.
I had a crush on her. I
Yeah,
remember that.
Mary Lou
Mary Lou
Retton.
Retton. I thought I was gonna marry her.
Did you?
Well, I was in 8th grade or 9th grade.
She from Minnesota?
No, she was from West Virginia.
Okay.
Her people's from West Virginia. She married a guy from the UT though. I think the quarterback from UT because he said he was
Oh.
gonna marry. He actually married her. So I still don't like. But still, yeah. But I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's from West Virginia.
Okay, so Mary Lou Retton is dominating the Olympics.
Mary Lou.
And the Honda commercial comes on. And I'm sitting there, and it's kind of a weird experience because I won the world championship in '83,
Yes.
and so I did this commercial, you know, for a couple of days, and it was a big production because in those days they would shoot with 16 millimeter, you know, film.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and so it had all the lighting and everything, you know, showed my good side, right? And so I'm riding this bike, and so they said we got a surprise ending, you know, that is going to really make it cool. And I was like, okay, you gonna tell me? And they go, no, we're not gonna tell you. It's gonna be a surprise. And so I didn't know about that ending until I saw the commercial sitting on my sofa. And what happens at the end? What does the guy say?
Freddie never turned it back in.
Yeah, Freddie liked the bike so much he never brought it back.
And it's because you ride off into the sunset.
Off in the sunset.
Like a movie star. Like a straight movie star
Well,
gangster.
yeah, I know they made me look good. But the funny thing is that still to this day, I have people walk up to me to ask me, "Did you ever bring that bike back?" Right?
Did you?
No.
I love that is the great they didn't tell you.
They didn't tell me.
And so you were surprised this is in
Oh
advance?
yeah, I was surprised. I was sitting there with mom, and mom looked at me and she goes, "Freddie, you never brought that bike back?"
I love it,
Right?
man. That's
She's
beautiful.
simple.
That's
simple
beautiful.
from Blanchard, Louisiana.
My mom same way, just simple.
Yeah.
I bought my mom a heater for her finger. She gets really cold easy. I bought her just a little, like quarterbacks wear.
Yeah.
And my mom to this day, this is only last month. She goes, you know what? If you never get me anything else, I'll always remember you got me that hand warmer, and I'll always remember that.
She
And I-
stick her hands in.
yeah, and I go, really, Mama? I go, she goes, if you never do anything else for me, I'll always remember you.
You're like,
In all my years of life, that's the only thing she's gonna remember me of is getting that hand warmer. She's a simple woman, man.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
good
still got a
stuff,
good
though.
right hook. She still got a good right hook.
there you go.
All
I
right.
wanted to, what do you think of the suggestion, just because we were talking about that commercial as it relates to the Olympics, and we just had an Olympic year, and I wasn't there in 1984, but I was watching the 26 Olympics and was impressed by the commercials because they were primarily for weight loss supplements. Like I saw a Wegovy commercial with like tons of celebrities, and like the Freddie Spencers and John Travoltas of the day have been like, it was John C. Riley and DJ Khaled, and they were all advertising for weight loss drugs. Like that was the big, you know what I mean? And I just
Right.
found
Big
that
difference.
big difference between
Big
advocating.
difference about never bringing a bike back and I'm fat.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's horrible. It
I'm
really
telling
is.
you though, like I feel
I mean,
like,
but I mean, it's okay. I mean, nothing against
People who are
having
fat.
lose weight
Yeah.
right,
because I've been there.
right. I'm not
I
saying that.
I am never. In fact, I'm getting out upon stars to make me a new set of leathers because I've lost some weight. So
You've never
and I
been fat.
appreciate people noticing
You
that.
never been fat, Freddie. Yeah, it never was fat,
Fast Freddie, fat Freddie.
No, you never were fat, Freddie. Stop it, Freddie. I'm gonna let you talk to yourself about that. You never were fat, Freddie. Let's stop it right now.
Okay.
You will not
All right.
talk about yourself that way.
Okay.
I will not let fast Freddie go to fat Freddie.
No.
Yeah. Well, I want to tell you something. It's
That's
not easy.
Freddie.
Yeah, in 60 years, I mean, there's going to be moments where you know.
Fast fat Freddie? No.
Yeah.
You'll always be fast Freddie to
Right.
me.
Well, that's what matters.
You don't remember the '84 Olympic Games? You don't remember those?
85.
Okay, you know what? You ain't gotta say it like that. Okay.
Yeah. So tell us
Okay.
about.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
20. Because you brought it up, Camille. You brought up about the fact of the different commercials.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
versus. You know, kind of like the coolness of that '84 commercial.
Nothing as cool as '84.
Yeah.
Especially the
Now we're
commercials
talking about giving shots. You know.
Ugh.
Yeah. and
for
stuff.
fat people.
Right, like a kid's watching.
And
like,
there's
whoa.
nothing wrong with that.
You meet the best fat people in Honda. that commercial's not coming out. You meet you meet the
I just think that that's what was memorable
That
to
is
me
not-
about it.
Please.
Was-
That is not good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But just that, like, so as a viewer watching the Olympics and just being aware of what was being advertised, for the difference in BT watching it and being like, oh my God, a motorcycle, how cool. And me being like, wow, the Wegovy budget is massive to have John C. Riley and DJ Khaled and whoever else, like, all in this one feature. To advocate for that and for the money involved must be a important and big industry.
Well,
And just noticing the
let's
shift in
do a
industry
disclaimer.
potentially.
Let's do a disclaimer. Listen,
Okay.
we know that it's important for health,
Of course.
and
of course.
so we want to make that clear. And all the people that you listed, we are not saying that they needed to lose weight.
No, those are just the actors who were involved to advocate for it. They were hiring them to be stewards of Wegovy. And so I would assume that they were paid tons. John, they don't have like weight issues. They were just, you know what I'm saying? They were just
Yeah.
getting paid to advocate
That wouldn't
for
be too
it.
bad.
Well, I mean, DJ Khaled has a weight issue. I mean, I know he does.
Well,
But I just think it's pharmaceuticals, and it's like that industry is. I mean,
we're not
they do-
pushing bikes. We're pushing
We're
pills,
not.
I guess,
Listen,
is
and
all we're
we
saying.
got it. You know, with disclaimer, we're not saying anything against Wegovy.
Oh yeah, no.
Wegovy does.
It's
good
just I
things.
wish, man. But in the now, I wish they would just get together and do a commercial about bikes during the Olympics. Something positive about motorcycles. You know, like just show. And like I said, you got to show the different aspects. Show people on the Grom laughing, having a good time. People on, you know what I mean?
Right. I think unfortunately, and you know, being serious for a moment, which you know is not easy in this crowd,
Right.
right?
Right.
But one of the things that we've all experienced is the negativity about people's views toward motorcycling,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so, as everyone can tell watching this, is that we're passionate about it, and it's been such a positive in our lives that we love to share that. Everyone out there, we hope, and the goal is through our understanding of what we experienced, it will allow them then in their own lives to develop that passion and purpose
Yes.
because we know what you know chemicals are released in our brain that gives us that sense of well-being,
Mm-hmm.
and also it's taught us so
Yes.
much, right? And so it's just amazing. We hope, and our goal is that everyone out in the audience can find their tools to be able to further their knowledge, understanding, get outside their comfort zone, understand that you got to take some risk. Doesn't mean you have to take physical risk like we're willing to do riding,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to take some risk in your own life. I said this to somebody the other day. They were talking about, well, I couldn't imagine doing what you do. And I said, I understand, but I also know that you stand up in front of people as you do, BT,
Mm-hmm.
and you take the risk of the audience not welcoming or accepting you. That's a risk. It is a risk.
Like, okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry about it because everybody loves BT. But and you're so just engaging. But there's a lot of people that get stage fright or
Mm-hmm.
they get a fear. And so I said that would be difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was in high school, I barely passed speech class. I couldn't get up in front of my 34 other graduating students, the students that were graduating with me. I mean, I couldn't get up and speak. I was scared to death. I'd get up there and freeze. And so, you know, riding a motorcycle, in the next year, I signed with Honda, and basically, I'd do my first TV interview, and I couldn't freeze, and so it taught me, to have the confidence. Long story short, to have the confidence, and it was always inside me. I just had to find it,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
I had to find it. And that's what motorcycling gave me. And we just want everyone out there, if you don't, if you ride a motorcycle, if you don't ride a motorcycle, but you find what is your purpose and what gives you confidence to believe in yourself,
Yes.
right?
I'm all for that. And also, I just feel like even if you use motorcycling as a means to an end, say like you have to get to work or whatever, and you don't have money for a car, maybe you get like a little Grom to get you through. And hopefully you'll develop a passion just from, okay, I have to go to work, but this is kind of fun. And that leads to you eventually,
Absolutely.
getting into motorcycling and
Yeah.
like you said, adds to your, helps you with your, growing you as a person,
Oh,
you
absolutely.
know?
Yeah.
And
Everything I learned on a motorcycle has taught me what I understand in life,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And it's
Yes.
given me so much of a foundation to build on. And again, of course we're advocates, for what we do. But the bottom line is that everyone out there needs that. That's what they need to find
Yes.
within themselves and in their own life. And the thing is that people ask me all the time, well, you retired from racing after 30 years. How could you replace that level of excitement? And I always go, I just found other things that became my purpose. And I took all of what I learned in motorcycling, and then I feel like it's my responsibility to, as Camille and I are doing this podcast, is to share that
Yes.
and to share our way of doing that so that other people can find it in their life.
That's beautiful. Yes. I'm a
You
firm
like
believer.
that?
I love that. No,
You
it's
go,
the
you
truth
gonna
though.
take that?
I'm gonna take it. I might borrow it. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
you are. It's okay.
no, but it's the truth though.
Yeah,
Everything you said is true. If I find your purpose, and to me, still riding, it's almost it's like I can't wait to get home now. If it gets to bike, if I can just go to the store and come back, then it'll make my whole
absolutely. Just that few
that
minutes.
little time on the
Yeah,
bike.
that few minutes gives you
yeah.
clarity. And I understand that so well, BT and Camille, because when I was a kid, I'd ride for like until I ran out of gas, of course, and then I would stop on my little 50, and I would go in the house, and I'd go in the house, and I would sit for like 5 minutes, and I would say, I'm ready to go ride some more. So
Yes.
I'd go and
Yes.
siphon some gas out of my mom's Pontiac Grand Prix, right?
Your mom got a Grand Prix too.
She had a
What?
Grand Prix, and I would like make sure she wasn't looking, and I would siphon it and then put it in my little 50, and then
That
and
is amazing.
she the next day it'd be like school, right? And she'd get in the car and crank it up. She'd go, "How did my car get on empty?"
You haven't told me that story. That's
No, I never
awesome.
told. I
That's
just want to
beautiful.
share it. You
And
like
it's funny
that?
because my dad had a
Amazing.
76 Grand Prix, and that's how he carried my bike from the dealership to home. He put it in the back of my 76 Grand Prix,
Oh, that had to be an experience.
which he later gave me as I think that the
That was your
college.
first car?
My first car from 76 Grand Prix that my dad had. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, like the same.
Yeah.
I ride to you, run out of gas,
Yeah.
and I would push it home.
Yeah.
And then the gas can, I remember where it was. It was right on
Yeah.
the left side.
Yeah.
I put it in, turn back around, I go riding again. Wow.
Yeah.
See how synonymous we are?
I know.
Amazing.
Yes.
And one of the things I'd like to just offer too, and what changed my perspective with motorcycles was when I went to the track. When it went from commuting, which was awesome, and riding but when I went to develop it as a skill and a practice in a closed course, that really changed the framework for me. And I just think I'd like to offer that for people who are riding out on the street and kind of want to develop a deeper relationship like the one that we're discussing. I found that at the track.
Right.
And mentioning too, you meet the best people on a motorcycle. I showed up, I didn't know anything about motorcycles at 36 when I started riding, not a thing. And cut to my second year into it, I go to the paddock. I have a tire pressure gauge and a gas can. And that's it. And I managed to have all of my needs met, from somebody helping me with a rear stand to, I was never without. I was completely supported by the community and was able to take a risk and go to the track by myself as a woman.
Right.
And feel supported and like
Accepted.
I could and accepted
Right.
and be able to execute my objective, which was to go out and try and shave some time
And get
with
better.
a community that was supportive to do that. So I would love to encourage people to go to the track.
Motorcycling is better because Camille's involved.
Oh my! Anything Camille's
Right?
in, it's gonna be better, but especially
Exactly.
motorcycling.
Yeah.
More better because of you, Camille. 'Cause of you. But
no,
that's
I'm
the
in
great
great
thing about
company.
now is in that there's a subculture within that subculture.
Right.
Now you got more women doing it, so they feel better around other women. There's a woman like me, and I've never seen anybody go, no, get away. I've never seen that. They're always accepting, like, yeah, girl, come on, and then it brings people together, and that's what we're talking about in a positive environment.
Well, that's a good place to end this song. We are
We can't talk
talking.
anymore. We can't talk anymore.
Well, you got to catch a plane.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up so BT can catch his plane. We thank him so much for being on the podcast today, and it was such an honor to have you here, my friend.
No, you have no idea how much
no,
fun this
no,
is.
no.
How dork! I'm gonna get in the car and go, "Oh, is that Freddie?" But now I'm gonna be, "Oh, thanks, Larry. I appreciate
But
it."
remember, it's not dorky. It's cool. It's cool to be a kid. It's
I'm glad
cool
you
to be a
think that,
dork,
but
I think. Yeah.
I'm gonna go get
And
some macaroni and cheese.
where can we learn more about you? So your film Fragile Strength is coming out, and you also have a podcast, right? Moto
Right.
Yeah,
GPBT.
sorry, we can't. It's totally different from this. It's but the film Fragile Strength. If you go to shortfilmsmatter.com, you can watch the film, or you can watch it on YouTube. It's called Fragile Strength, and I'm so happy with that film. It's 9 minutes. It's a short film. We filmed in 2 days, but it's touching. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a nice film. It's a nice film. I mean, everybody can watch it.
Everybody needs to.
Everybody
watch
needs to watch it. It's a good family film. 9 minutes. It's 9 minutes out of your life, and I promise you'll like it. Enjoy it. It's really good.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
good.
proud of that more than anything.
Well, good. And if you get a chance to see BT in action, as you can tell, he is hilarious and funny,
Thank
and has great stories. And
Thank you,
and
Freddie.
I'm so happy you're going to Le Mans next
I
week.
can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna annoy you when we get to
Yeah,
London. Where's Freddie?
I'll make you part of my pit crew.
Yes.
Huh?
See? Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, push it.
Yeah.
Maybe get a beret, like a
Yeah.
raspberry
Oh,
beret.
yeah.
Come on, Freddie, you have to do it. I'll be eating a croissant at the same time with a cappuccino. Who is this guy? You don't know who I am. I used to be with Freddie back in the day. Like, maybe he was. They won't know. It's in the 70s. They don't know. I was behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I would love to do that. Get a beret, push it. They'll think, man, this guy must have been around a long time.
Well, which is true, but it'd be nice. I'll do a demonstration lap on the
Can't wait, Freddie. Can't
Yeah.
wait, buddy.
So see you next week, and thank everybody for listening to this, and hope you enjoyed it, and you got a little history about our motorcycling experience and why we are passionate about it, and also why we think it's important that you find that in your own life, and we wish that for you. So thanks again, and Camille. See you. We'll actually do another one tomorrow. And thank you for being on the show, my friend.
Thank you so much, Freddie. Find your passion.
And too, our next episode, we're having Mira on, who is a PhD researcher on exercise scientist, and we're going to have a conversation kind of debunking the adrenaline junkie myth. So for those of you out there who have been falsely accused, maybe at times, of being an adrenaline junkie, we have an excellent guest on tomorrow who's going to kind of to debunk that myth. So stay tuned for our next episode.